back here. I will be back here. And I will be back with another vengeance.
Yeah, we'll lick our wounds. We'll get over this. We'll be fired up for next year.
Garoppolo has time, stands in, going deep, going for it all, and it's caught for the touchdown! On fourth down, Deebo Samuel for 6. Garoppolo's got all day. He's going to launch it deep down the field, going for it all, and getting it! Emmanuel Sanders, not touched, still on his feet, inside the 10, and he scores! 75-yard bomb from Jimmy Garoppolo to Emmanuel Sanders. Wilson, pressure off the edge, releases it, and it is intercepted by Greenlaw. Trey Greenlaw now on the return. As he's still on his feet with blockers in front. Trey Greenlaw down the sideline. Can you believe this?
Looks like football, baby.
Pass is caught. Kittle breaks one tackle. Another. Wow, what a touchdown for George Kittle. Goff throws and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Warner. Fred Warner for the touchdown. Jeff Wilson has come in at running back. Garoppolo's throw is caught by Jeff Wilson. He's going to score a touchdown for the 49ers.
And the pass is going to be picked off by Bosa. Nick Bosa. Can't bring him down till he gets to the 8-yard line. Wow.
Now Evans in the slot. Winston picked off. It is Richard Sherman, who did not have an interception last year, and he returns it all the way for a 49ers touchdown, 32-yard.
Garoppolo fires. It is caught. Still on his feet is Kittle with a big play. And the stiff arm. George Kittle. Flags fly. He's down to the 30. What a run by George Kittle. Taking on everybody.
Oh shit, gold-blooded motherfuckers. This is Daddy. We are here. We are suffering, all individually and all collectively. This is the Gold-Blooded Podcast. I am Joe. I am joined by Rob and Michael, as always. And Daddy's going to put out a disclaimer right here. He's not feeling well today. He's thinks he might be dying. It's weird to talk about myself in the third person, keep going with it. But yeah, I feel like dog shit, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to be cranky and nasty and...
So status quo.
Yeah.
So basically the 49ers lost.
You know, I'm worse.
Daddy's
though.
dying.
I honestly...
He's going to be cranky. Sounds like a loss.
Stand by. I almost called Steve 3 hours ago and was like, Steve, you just have to go do the podcast tonight because I'm not going to make it. And then I was like, no, you know what? I need Steve there anyway just so I could fight with him. I don't want to fight with you guys, but I want to fight with Steve. Fuck you, Steve.
Well, this might cheer you up. I saw an email in the email from Titus McCain.
Yeah, that's no. No, I just
that might cheer you up.
Threw up in my mouth a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I've been dealing with a stomach issue, which has me on the brink of nausea nearly 24/7 for the past 3 weeks. So I don't know if it's cancer or AIDS or what, but I'm going down.
I was thinking when I read that of all people that I know, you would be last on the list for me to think would have any stomach issues with the healthy lifestyle.
I know. Well, listen, I'm not denying that I'm in this position because of my own actions.
You might not be.
Right.
It could just be pure luck and you have stomach cancer.
Sure. Or I eat some other shit, you know what I mean? No doubt, there is that chance.
Yeah.
But the reality of the
luck.
situation, it's probably my reckless lifestyle.
It could be.
Very well. With that said, it doesn't make it any less fun.
The healthiest person I know is the person that had a stroke under 40 this year. So,
who's that?
Carl.
Really? He had a stroke?
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, healthiest person I know by far.
Yeah.
No, on all levels, on partying levels, on eating
Everything.
levels, on a working out level, on everything. And he had a stroke, so might as well eat some fucking Reese's and enjoy yourself.
But I do.
You know? Yeah, fuck it.
You have Reese's, I have my candy, and we all do what we do here. All right. I guess we'll let you start with how you do. You could put me on the injury list. I texted you my injury, so you can go from there with it if you'd like to add that. If not,
yeah, I'll move on.
Okay.
You have the same injury as Lamar Jackson.
what did happen there? I just saw the highlights.
He had the shit.
No,
shit.
No, there's no way. If first of all, if he really left the field to shit, he would have been back out there sooner. And second of all, they wouldn't have put the fake wrapping on his... Like, that's really going far to cover up a shit. To fake wrap someone's arm to look like he got an injection. That's a little extreme.
I'm telling you...
It's just funny to act like that's why he left.
Go, Kern.
Where did they say that he had a cramp? All I heard was that he had a cramp, and then I started watching when he came back.
He said it started in his arm, and then it was going to his legs. Like, he was cramping everywhere from dehydration.
Which I can vouch.
Once it starts...
I was once on a boat and I threw up for 2 hours straight, Kern, and first my fingers started to cramp like this to the point where I couldn't lift a gallon jug of water because my fingers were curling in on each other. Then my arms started to go, and then finally my legs, and one of the guys I was with just held a jug to my mouth and I just fucking chugged.
Yeah, when it's from dehydration, it fucks up everything.
Yeah, I
mean, it is way funnier to think he was shitting, but...
But no, here's what I have to say about that.
I mean, the reason he was running like that is because he's in cleats on fucking pavement. Anyone that's ever run in cleats on pavement knows that.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah. I'm an electrician for the most part, right? I guess you could say. If I was paid Lamar Jackson's salary to do my job, I would shit my pants and keep working. And I wouldn't even be upset about it. So... I don't buy it.
Yeah, but you're not wearing tight pants that would show the
I
shit
wouldn't
on national television when there was shit like running down the back of your... That's the difference.
You don't know me well enough. You want to give me $5 million a year? I'll take a shit on myself in front of people every day of the week.
Right. But if you didn't have to and you could just go shit in the bathroom, wouldn't you also do that?
No. I'd just shit myself.
I mean, it just seems like a real extreme move.
That's fine.
But it's, everyone's talking about the way he ran to the bat.
I didn't see any of it. This is all...
But it's the same way you run. The way you run when there's shit coming out of your ass that you can't stop is the same way you run when you have metal cleats on pavement. It's a very similar trot.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Understandable.
But there were some funny tweets. He actually responded to it and used the poop emoji, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then even RG3 used the DK Metcalf meme.
Yep.
And it said it was like the Browns on the front, and then DK running them down was Lamar after pooping. It said.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome that they're at the 44-yard line, and Justin Tucker is begging John Harbaugh to let him kick a field goal, which is like 62 yards or 61 yards.
I mean,
and Lamar comes running out from the back, comes in for a play, and throws a 44-yard touchdown.
Yep.
That's balls right there.
I mean, if you're like a legitimate kicker, though, you've got to desire those situations so bad. Was it at home? Was it in? I mean, either way, it was outside.
Well, they said it was wet, and he hit a 55 later for the win, right? Was it 55?
Yep.
And Harbaugh was saying he's the only kicker he would even think of doing the 55 with.
Yeah.
Because the ground was soft and wet.
I gotcha.
They were at Cleveland, and actually, come to think of it, he was the guy who beat the 49ers when we went and saw him play.
Yes.
I mean, it's just that guy could kick. I bet that guy could beat the 64 yards. I think he could do it.
I mean, in the right situation, you gotta believe.
I heard he got really good by kicking animals.
Why does he beat his dog?
I don't know. I just don't like him.
Oh, fuck him then.
He beat us. He beat us with that foot. So I assume it's from kicking. Harmless animals, animals and children?
Yep.
I will. Well, we're taking a weird sidetrack here, but one.
That's odd.
Yeah, I know, right? Especially after a loss, right? One, did you see the girl finally made a point kicking in college? Okay, so there's still hope for you as a 40-some-odd-year-old man.
First of all, after seeing her kickoff, there's more than hope for me.
No, I mean, she made the extra point, too.
Yeah. But I'm saying, after seeing her kickoff,
yeah,
There's more than hope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm not trying to talk shit. I think it's great that she's doing it, but it's very obvious that it's a publicity thing because I could have definitely done better on that kickoff.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't find a better woman kicker.
And also, after I did that kickoff, I wouldn't have then just walked off the field. I would have stayed engaged in the play.
Yeah.
She just kicked it and peaced out.
She wanted nothing to do with it.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
So last thing before Rob does his thing, Kern, you just said how we were going to start a rumor, about whoever that kicker was. So after I graduated high school, me and a couple weird friends of mine sat around and we thought about all the people we went to high school with, and we found the girl that was that knew, everyone knew who she was, but no one was in touch with her. She wasn't popular, but she was popular enough, and we created a rumor about her that she got hit by a taxi cab in New York City and lost a leg, and her name was Peggy. So we just said that her new nickname was Peg Leg, and people would so we spread the rumor. So then let's say I went to high school with Rob and Rob bumped into you, and Rob would be like, oh my God, Mike, did you hear that Peggy from high school lost her leg in a New York City car accident? And let's say you ended up being a good friend with her. So you just pick up the phone and you're like, oh my God, Peggy, I just heard. So it got to the point where she was like, if you see Joe Iannucci, stop telling that tell that motherfucker to stop telling people I got hit by a car. I have both my legs.
These are the things you could do before social media, Mike.
Right.
He can't live this life.
No.
Because somebody would just go on Facebook and see she did
100%.
and then it would be over.
This was 15, but the rumor went on for a good 4 or 5 years. And then I thought of the perfect male, a guy to do it about. And I started a rumor about him that he was shot because his parents owned a gas station. I said he was working the midnight shift and he got shot. He's alive, but he's got a colostomy bag and he rolls around in a wheelchair. And I saw him, he was actually handing out club flyers at the mall, and he tried to thug me. He was like, yo, dog, you need to stop telling motherfuckers I got shot, dog. I was like, yo, your nickname was Millhouse in high school, guy. Suck my dick. I'm going to keep telling people. So that's where I'm at with the rumors. I'm all about them.
I had mono in middle school, so I was out for 3 weeks or a month. And when I came back, I heard all kinds of stories. I heard that I had broke my arm. I heard that just weird stories that just kids made up because I wasn't in school.
Kids are fucking...
You're right, though. That shit doesn't... that shit can't happen now because everybody just goes on, messages you or anything, and it's
Or just looks at your Facebook and sees what you did yesterday, and then it's over.
Sees that you have 2 operating legs. Yeah. It was this was even really before cell phones were as rampant as they were. You know what I mean? Right. Because it was probably somebody would have had to send her a page, or a tag, or page, a beeper. All right, but enough reminiscing and teaching Michael about the way things were. Bob, let's talk about the way things are.
Oh, you want all the fun?
None of this is fun.
Okay.
Maybe I puke on myself, and I feel a little better. I don't know. You go.
Before the game, offensive lineman Tony Bergstrom promoted from the practice squad to the active roster. Cornerback Brian Body Calhoun and tight end Daniel Helm were signed to the practice squad. Then defensive lineman Alex Barrett, cornerback Brian Body Calhoun, offensive lineman Dakota Shipley, and defensive lineman Darion Daniels were all promoted from the practice squad to the active roster. So think about that for a minute. All these names we've been seeing all year, back and forth. Most of these names sound 0% familiar. Alex Barrett sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
Brian Body Calhoun, definitely
never heard that.
Dakota Shipley, maybe once, maybe.
There was another Dakota.
Yeah, of course, but this is the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Darion Daniels, no. These guys were promoted to the active roster before this game. That's how deep we've gone. Cornerback Emmanuel Mosley, cornerback K'Wan Williams, defensive lineman DJ Jones, and defensive lineman Kevin Givens all did not play. I thought we had a shot at K'Wan when he went back to practice, but he didn't make it back to the game. The good news is there wasn't a glaring issue at slot this week, so that's helpful.
Right.
Trent Taylor was a healthy scratch.
Fuck him. Later.
I don't know if I agree with that, and we'll get into that later.
Okay.
During the game, first play of the game, Deebo Samuel pulled hamstring.
Can I stop you right there?
Sure. I knew it was over. I knew the season was over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was our season.
That was it. I said
because that was our hope.
Yeah.
Ride his back.
Yep.
Put a saddle on him and ride him to the playoffs. That was my goal.
What's crazy to me, right, is now, what did I say to you last week? How I felt on key plays, they didn't have the ball in the guy's hands that it should have been in. I said Jeff Wilson, Coleman, the other guy, right? So to come out of the gate, first play of the game, see the ball in Debo's hands, I'm like, this is it. This is what we need to do. This is the motherfucker.
Yep, and he makes it happen. 9 yards.
Right, 9 yards.
Yep.
The second the camera cut to his face, I, like you, knew. I said to Jessica, it's over. I don't even need to watch. I don't need to watch
When he took his helmet off and threw the helmet to the...
Yeah.
That's when I knew.
I knew.
The way he threw the helmet, that was it.
And you knew the game was a wrap. You knew no matter what they did. Maybe you got... No. Nope.
I almost didn't want it to go any further because then I'm like, well, now what?
Right.
He's done for the year.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it got... There was another part that was way worse to me, though, after that.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe we're both feeling the same way.
Daniel Brunskill had a shoulder sprain day to day.
That happened in the game?
Yep.
Okay.
We didn't see it during the game. I heard it. I heard it after.
Yeah,
it was news after.
I didn't remember seeing it.
Raheem had a
Raheem had a Mostert.
Raheem Mostert had an ankle issue. He went out, went back in. We're waiting for further imaging, is what Shanahan said, which probably means an MRI or something like that to see if there's any damage in there. But it was looking good. He came back in the game. He did play some more. The one that really I shit my pants was Fred Warner.
Oh, yeah. Okay, do we know when that happened? What was that, like second quarter?
It was later. It was late
Second
enough
or third?
after Debo's that I was like, why are we even playing anymore?
Yeah.
I thought it was third.
Because it looked to me like a shoulder injury or a collarbone the way he got up, and that scared the fuck out of me.
I said to Jessica, I don't even know why we're still playing because now we're fucking up next year, right? I go, this is a guy, now this is an end-of-year injury, and he looks like to me, I said, the way he was acting, I said, it looks like he broke his shoulder or his collarbone. And she's like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't. I'm just guessing,
They're calling it a stinger, which usually means they're fine for next week.
Right, which was what I also thought. I was like, well, best case scenario, this is a stinger.
That's not the first time it's happened to him. That's the weird part.
But stingers either happen to people or they don't.
Yeah, but like stinger I always thought that was made up.
But you've never had
that's
one.
a Charlie horse.
You've never had one, right?
No.
Unless you get them, I know, again, if I hadn't had stingers in my life, I would have the same exact attitude you have towards them.
Yeah.
But to actually, you ever got one, Karen?
Yes, actually, I can tell you that I had two while playing football, and they're pretty scary. They're like, for a moment there, you're like, can I move my arms and legs?
And then the pain.
You have to look at yourself, and then coming off of that, it is a scary thing for a football player to hit that. Because you're messing around with some big dudes, and you don't know if you've actually fucked something up or if it's a stinger.
Hey, even after the first time it happens, the next time it still could be. You could be paralyzed.
Right. Well, do you know when I would get them?
Look at Shazier. That was a stinger, but that was, or what is it called? A contusion. Like, those are bruises, but once you start fucking around with your spinal cord, a stinger can really start to fuck people up, and so.
I used to get stingers when I would play basketball, and I would go up for a rebound to tip the ball, and something I would do just with that motion it was like a sharp, stinging, burning sensation in my neck that would immediately my body would hit the ground. You can't stand through it. You go down. It's a scary fucking thing. So.
When you said I used to get stingers, I was expecting you to explain a new kind of drug to me that I didn't know about.
No.
I used to get stingers back in high school.
Back in the day, I had a sick stinger addiction.
A couple updates. George Kittle is back at practice this week. Not likely to play versus Dallas. We might see him after that. I don't think you can keep him off the field. You could try, but I don't know if you're going to. I don't know that you'll see him at full speed all the time. Maybe until we're mathematically eliminated, which we're not yet. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo will not be at practice this week. He may be back next week. That's all I have for updates.
Okay, I have one injury question for you, unless you want to go do something right now.
Go ahead.
Are you long-term concerned about Debo's ability to stay on the field?
A little bit, because he had these same issues in college.
Okay.
But also, I think this year might be the one to fix it. Maybe this is enough to scare him into what he's got to do to keep his body right.
Okay.
And he's got, certainly at the NFL level, you've got the best help you could get.
Right. If anybody's going to get it right, it's going to be the that staff, medical staff.
And it's so hard to predict because look at Jason Verrett. he's had injuries his entire career. And
Right.
he's almost done with a season with us. Look at Jimmy Ward.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, you just expect them to get hurt all the time, and they don't. And then who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Well, definitely something that I hadn't originally, was never really a concern of mine, but now is a real fucking concern as far, like, man, is this going to be one of those guys that's just plagued by injuries his entire career?
So, two things. You said fuck Trent Taylor.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay.
Fuck Kendrick Bourne. I'm done with the Kendrick Bourne train. I'm done with the fucking hype. I'm done with Shanahan telling me he won the slot. I wouldn't hand that guy an open fucking glass of soda. That guy can't fucking catch anything. It's fucking ridiculous.
It seems
he had 5 drops in the fucking game.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have 5 drops in a season as an NFL fucking receiver. That was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting. And he'll make 1 or 2 that are mind-blowing catches. We've seen that. But this is going back every year he's been with us.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking hear it. Trent Taylor does not drop the ball like Kendrick Bourne does. Period.
And I think that's the thing, we've been holding KB as that solid third guy, but I think maybe it's time to start looking for somebody else to truly fill that slot position that can truly catch a ball on a third down when we need him, even a second down, first down. But the thing with like someone like Trent Taylor, it seems like the ball is thrown a little weird. These balls that Kendrick Bourne is dropping are right to his hands.
Yeah,
he catches the hard ones and drops the easy ones.
Right. And exactly to what I was going to say, he catches touchdowns, but he doesn't catch
it's brutal.
Standard
It's
issue
fucking brutal.
yeah.
And everyone wants to crucify McGlinchey for the one that Kendrick did catch. Well, what about the 5 he didn't?
Yeah, no, I mean,
come on.
We've been on the McGlinchey fuck train all year. His play is dropped regardless. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It doesn't look that way if you watch the games. Like he just, if he misses one, it's always the worst time.
Yeah,
and so it becomes a big story.
It's glaring. Yeah,
it was the same thing at the beginning of the year. People were talking about how terrible Trent Williams was.
Right. Well, he just but he's still good for a false start every game. He had one this game.
If he keeps playing the way he's playing, he could have one a game.
No, I know. I'm just saying he does have one a game. I'm just saying that. I'm willing to bet he averages at least 3/4 of one a game.
If Nick Bosa has an offsides once a game,
right,
we'll take it.
Right.
Because it's the timing. He's getting the timing down, and he's so close that it's on that verge, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen.
And in McGlinchey's, to McGlinchey's credit, he did the same exact thing Sherman would do if he was getting beat by a receiver. You commit the foul and hope it doesn't get called. Whereas if you don't commit it, you know what's going to happen.
Something worse could happen.
If he doesn't hold that defensive lineman on that play, Mullins gets fucking creamed and that ball never gets to KB. It could be a strip sack. I'll take the penalty over a strip sack any fucking day. You know, it's hard to know what would have happened, but the way Nick Mullins plays quarterback, good chance there was a fucking fumble on it.
Fuck KB. I mean, fuck KB too. Yeah, I'm not defending him.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck him. You're right. 5 drops unacceptable. 5 drops in a season is unacceptable. The reason I say fuck Trent Taylor, he's been given plenty of opportunities. Whether it be returning punts, whether it be just, being out in the field and not getting open. So that's why I say fuck. I feel like they're just holding on to him because Jimmy and him had like a connection for 2 games. Like, I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Well, and also it could be money. We don't have money to really go do anything. So.
Right, that too. And it's not like he's none of these guys are, big money guys.
Yeah. I would say better than 50% chance CJ Beathard starts next week.
I was going to ask you that. That was my next question I was going to ask you. Well, we'll talk about that next episode, but let's wrap this fucking abortion
pretty sure
up.
You're going to see him.
Okay.
Just kidding.
That was weird. So the 49ers lost the game 33-15. That's fucking ugly. Nobody wins the prediction game. But I would like to say I'm still winning that. So there's that. The blame game. You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, this is a tough one.
I mean, I know where it doesn't lie.
Where?
It certainly doesn't lie on the defense.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. They were put into the worst situation.
I mean, what they give up 2 field goals they balled.
Yep. I agree. I completely agree.
This is on the offense 100%.
100%. 15 points against the Washington football team is unacceptable. Unacceptable in every...
Well, and 14 points the Washington defense scored.
Right.
2 touchdowns. A pick six and a fumble recovery touchdown.
Ugh. Yeah. Not good. Well, okay. So, okay.
I mean, I'm going to have to put it on Mullins.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he's had great play around him. I think the team had 9 drops, which is insane. So that doesn't help. But the pick six was all him. That was just a bad decision. The fumble recovery for a touchdown was all him. He's been doing this one-handed ball fucking bullshit ever since he got here and not protecting the football and not taking the sack when he needs to.
Yeah.
And it just keeps coming back to haunt him.
And then taking other sacks at terrible times instead of throwing it away.
He took a strip sack and then later in the game was still holding the ball in one hand. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I don't mean to fuck you up here, but just look at ESPN there. Was the score 23?
Maybe I typed it wrong. Yeah.
What was the final score of this game?
No, I think you're right.
Okay. I was say 33 didn't seem right to me.
No, you're right.
Okay.
Because towards the end, we still had a shot.
Right. I was like, well, 23.
No, that was a typo.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah, Alex got hurt too, huh?
Yeah, that was cramps.
Yeah.
Or muscle soreness.
Vaginas.
But it was in the surgery leg, so.
Oh, yeah. You can't be too safe with that. All right, Curran, who's your blame game?
You go first because I'm trying to find a stat real quick.
Okay. So I think Rob covered it pretty well with Nick Mullins. And I'm feeling like a real asshole today. So I'm going to blame the NFL just because I don't think they get blamed enough. I think everybody has just, I think there's been unfairness across the league, and I think they put player safety at risk by not having a full offseason, and I think that's a large part of the reason that you've seen injuries across the whole league. So in the capacity that you have. So I'm blaming Roger Goodell and the NFL on this one. Fuck it.
So the player I am going to blame this week is a player that both of you have acknowledged that can... Oh, an ad started playing on my end.
I like how scared you look.
Welcome to our world.
Hate that shit. Don't need the stat. I'll say this guy can fuck right off. Fuck Jordan Reed. He, again this week, had a clip of him throwing his helmet. Like, this is how many weeks in a row?
Yeah.
How many weeks
At least
in a row?
3.
You don't contribute to this team enough to be doing that shit. Get the fuck out.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, there's a lot more that could probably be blamed, but that pissed me right off when I heard the announcers say that he was throwing a little bit of a tantrum. Pissed me right off. He can fuck right off.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
I have some interesting stats to go along.
Joey stats.
Yeah. To go along with your how many drops?
9.
Okay. Brendan Ayuk.
That's what Shanahan said.
Right. Brandon Ayuk targeted 16 times, receptions 10. Kendrick Bourne targeted 7 times, receptions 3. Okay, Richie James was 3 for 3. Dwelly was 2 for 2. Juszczyk was 2 out of 3, not bad. Jeff Wilson was mediocre. Okay, but then Jordan Reed, 5 targets, 2 catches. Those 3 players right there, Ayuk, Bourne, and Reed, I mean, they left a lot of ball. I mean, they were probably responsible for the 9 right there.
Yeah, you can't.
No, I know some of them are on. I know.
Because
I know. It could be
Juice
Mullins.
was 2 out of 3.
Right.
And the third one was the pick 6 that he threw to the wrong place.
Okay.
So it could be Mullins throwing a
Right.
bad ball.
No, I hear you on that, but I'm just one aspect of it is there. That's preposterous. Man,
I'll tell you what. If Ayuk played this whole year, the entire league can suck everyone's dick.
Oh, he's the offensive rookie of the year, and it's not.
He's
even
already
close.
climbing those numbers in the few games he's played.
Yeah,
he's already showing up on those stat sheets.
Sure.
I mean, what's the receiver? What is it? Minnesota? Where's that? When the one guy that's setting the world on fire, the only one that's not a quarterback that has a shot at offensive player of the year. Jeffries,
rookie.
No. Did you say?
Oh, rookie.
Yeah. Sorry, offensive rookie of the year.
Jefferson.
That's it. So his numbers. I mean, there's no way Ayuk doesn't catch him if he plays all year. No way.
Oh, I agree.
Although, it's also fair to point out that Ayuk's numbers are probably inflated because of Debo's injury and Kittle's injury.
Well, it says
he's getting more targets because no Kittle and no Debo.
Correct. But who knows? You also put those two guys on the field. You're going to have to cover them more. So that might he might have had bigger numbers with those guys on the field. I Googled Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it says, like, Google came up with this, and it says Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is the runaway NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Posted 4 days ago, whoever that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Whatever. Well, the reality of this game is that most likely the 49ers have fucked themselves out of a playoff hope. Really disappointing to go to the Super Bowl last year and not even make the playoffs this year. We could blame injuries, you could blame Corona, you could blame the NFL, you could blame Nick Mullins. But what I see, and everybody will tell me what a fucking asshole I am.
What did you Google?
Offensive Rookie of the Year. That was it, just like that. Oh.
Same Google.
Yeah, I didn't put 2020, but yeah.
And mine says Justin Herbert is the clear-cut favorite.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Google. This is now Kyle Shanahan's 4th year as the coach of the 49ers. He's made the playoffs once, and he's had 3 extremely disappointing seasons other than that. I don't give a fuck about his offensive genius. If there is not a deep playoff run next year, he could suck my dick. I don't care. I'll say it. I'll say it right now. So.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Disagree 1,000,000,
cool.
1,100 godzillion
cool.
%.
Keep watching non-consistent football. That's cool.
Yeah,
he's not.
I don't know how you can expect a fucking head coach to win with Nick Mullins and Jordan Reed and Kendrick Bourne.
He is the motherfucker. He drafted CJ Beathard. He missed there. He could have drafted motherfucking Mahomes as a backup.
He also drafted Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw and George Kittle and
listen, I don't want to have the same debates with you.
Yeah, ignorant.
The NFL.
Who do you want instead of? Let's cut right to the point. Who's better than Kyle Shanahan?
I don't know. That's not my fucking job. I've said my job.
Then don't say we can't have Shanahan.
My job is to sit in the stands and pay for it and watch it and enjoy it. And quite frankly, 3 out of the last 4 years, it's been unwatchable and unbearable. And maybe you were happy with close games. Oh, we're competing with a bad
now
team.
You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say I was happy.
I didn't say.
You did. You said maybe you're happy. I didn't say I was happy.
Everybody who's status quo with this, everybody who's not saying what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I thought you weren't going to fight with us. I thought you wanted to have Steve here to fight with.
Well, I knew this was where this was
Just so you know, Curran, myself, and Shanahan, none of the 3 of us caused your stomach issues.
No, but you don't know that. Motherfucking Shanahan there's a stress that he causes me every motherfucking week. The stress I live with, I can't even.
There's not a single coach that you could tell me was taking over for Shanahan that would make me happy right now. There's not a single one. If you told me that we were making an even trade, Shanahan for anyone else on this planet, I'm not happy about it. Period.
Okay.
I'll put something out there. Would you be willing to keep Shanahan as a coach, but would you rather bring in someone else as a head coach?
No.
And if Shanahan would be up for it to stay as an offensive coordinator, do you think he has a lot on his plate?
No way. Absolutely not. There's no way you could tell a guy that you're demoting him from head coach to you have to move on if you're going to move on. It's just not happening. That to me is not an option. Not an option. But I don't think that he has too much on his plate because what is he not doing? Like
he's not getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, you could just keep saying that. But it's just not.
You have guys like Mike Tomlin. You have guys like Bill Belichick. These guys that have been leading teams successfully. They win their division. I mean, I'm not saying the Steelers win it every year, but John Harbaugh is another example. These guys who've been coaching teams for double-digit seasons and have winning records every fucking year, even right out of the rip. And so far now, we're 3 out of 4 with losing records. That's acceptable? How is that acceptable?
Yeah, your numbers just don't make sense, though. Like, yeah, Bill Belichick has a lot of winning seasons with the greatest quarterback of this generation, and the year that he left, the team is dog shit. Like, the minute they lost their quarterback, one guy, the whole team is dog shit and can't win, and we went in there and ran through them like a high school team. And the same thing goes for the Steelers. When Ben's not in there, the team is garbage. They're nothing.
Well,
they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's the same thing with the Saints. Yeah, they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. They're always going to be a competitor.
So it is those coaches. Listen, it's those coaches who get it, or the front office, however you're going to go about getting that quarterback, that guy. And Kyle Shanahan has had chances to draft Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and he has not. So he does not have the eye that he needs for that talent. Bill Belichick drafted Brady. Tomlin and them drafted Roethlisberger. However it works. I don't know all the actual stats, but somebody in that fucking organization saw that talent and picked him. And right now, the best that we've drafted is fucking CJ Beathard. I'm not happy with it. But hey, everybody else could be thrilled with our situation. I'm saying I'm not happy.
No one said we're fucking thrilled. Stop telling me we're thrilled.
I'm not saying you, so don't get so upset. I'm saying
Jesus
everybody.
Christ.
I haven't heard anybody else pissed off but me. Everybody else is just... cool. This is the situation. Cool.
Nobody said cool.
Okay.
Nobody.
Yeah,
no 49ers fan is happy. Not a single one.
Okay.
No one is saying this is great. Not a single 49ers fan. Just because we're not ready to jump off a building like you doesn't mean we're not unhappy.
Okay. Listen. It is what it is. we don't have that guy on the roster. That Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback. And whose fault is that? It's not mine. It's not yours. It's the guys in charge of the team. That's whose fault it is.
Okay, fair enough.
They've had opportunities to draft. We could have had the kid from fucking Buffalo, right? We could have had that kid. You saw what he did to us. We could have any of those guys are better than CJ Beathard. And that's my problem. That the people that makes these decisions are missing on the offensive quarterback position. That's my fucking gripe. My number one gripe right now.
Garoppolo hadn't gone injured, though, right? And let's say he is in the game right now and he is throwing up very, very good QB numbers. Not MVP this season. So there's a lot of good quarterbacks here. But what if he was throwing up those really good numbers? Would you say that we have that guy on the roster, or would you still say that we have C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins as a backup?
Well, I guess it depends on what the results are, but I mean,
how many of those guys are there in the NFL?
I don't know. 10?
5?
15? 10? 10 good quarterbacks?
You said Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, no. Okay. Quarterbacks that are capable of winning a Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's a better way to say it.
And you don't think Garoppolo is?
No, he proved he wasn't. He proved that when the game's on the line, he's going to overthrow that guy.
Okay.
He did that.
He lost to probably the best quarterback in the league.
Who are guys that are paid to draft those guys just passed on.
A lot of people did. It's not 100% game to draft a quarterback and be in...
But out of the quarterback, listen, this is a conversation.
Steve Young was traded to us from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after playing in the fucking
UFL.
Yeah, so.
But all I'm saying is out of the quarterbacks we have drafted since these guys have been in charge, it's only been C.J. Beathard. We got gifted Jimmy Garoppolo out of just a fucking gift. And then they brought in undrafted Nick Mullins, who I really have no argument with other than he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL, so I don't know what the fuck he's doing out there. So at the end of the day, you need a capable and competent backup quarterback in the NFL. Apparently, we don't have that anymore. I thought maybe Nick Mullins was, but if he can't beat the fucking team from Washington, if he can't beat Kyle Allen and the fucking Bills, then we got real problems. That's all.
Yeah, or Josh Allen, too.
Whatever.
I don't know.
We're never going to see side to side because
First of all, you're not going to. We didn't when you got Garoppolo, you're not going to then also draft a quarterback because you think you have him. Like it doesn't. It just doesn't add up. Like we have a guy on our roster who's played the one season he played start to finish. He played in the Super Bowl. That's. Most teams, if you said the first full season your quarterback's going to play, he's going to play in the Super Bowl, you go, well, okay, I'll take him. I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me up. So you can't blame a coach for injuries. You just blame the NFL for all the injuries in the blame game.
Well, this is because I didn't want to blame Mullins as well.
You should have blamed Shanahan if it's his fault. Because he drafted all these guys.
I blame him every week.
Shanahan chose Kittle, and he he keeps getting hurt. So it's obviously Shanahan's fault. Terrible draft pick. All he does is get hurt.
A lot of guys he drafts do.
Drafted D-ball. All the guy does is get hurt.
Really, though?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible draft. Worst.
Nick Bosa, another one.
Awful draft pick.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
Yeah, it's great to waste a number 1 overall pick or whatever the fuck he was on a guy who's not even going to be there every year. Yeah, it is a fucking terrible pick.
I mean, or a guy that we rode to the Super Bowl.
Right. Well,
so
he did us a lot of good this year.
That's fair, but if he takes us to the Super Bowl next year, I'll take every other year. I'll drop a first-round draft pick for every other Super Bowl.
So far, we're 3 for 4. Let's see how it pans out.
Fair enough. But to me, you just can't put all of it on a head coach when...
I'm not. Some of it's Lynch's fault. Some of it's John Lynch's fault.
There's no team in the league that has injuries like this team has had. I can't remember one in history that's had these injuries like this. It's completely unheard of. And again... Going into this game, the fact that you've got that many injuries and we still think we have a chance to even compete in the game is why I want Shanahan. Because any other coach doesn't have a fucking shot
you have to
in that game. Losing the 2 or 3 best defensive players, the 2 or 3 best offensive players. Any other team, that's it. They fold up the fucking tent and they go home and they'll see you next year. And we didn't. We kept thinking we had a chance. And that, to me, that's Shanahan.
That is a very valid argument. And I'm not, I get it. You know what I mean? I'm not undermining your argument. I respect it. It makes sense. My logic and reason tells me that, yes, to still be competing this late in the game, this late in the season, with everything so fucked up, yes, that hats off to you, Kyle Shanahan. Great job, buddy. But again, I just kind of feel like patting him on the back for not getting it done. You know what I mean? When is it going to, when are the 49ers going to win the West every single year or compete in the West? When are the 49ers going to make the playoffs 2 consecutive years? These are things that I desire as a fan. We have not had since, Harbaugh, and then prior to that, the history. So I want to watch winning football on a week-to-week, year-to-year basis. And right now, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not patting him on the back for not making the playoffs. I'm patting him on the back for me actually wanting to watch a football game this late in the season with no players.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because if any other of our head coaches since, George Seifert, there's no way that I'm watching games this late and caring and thinking we have a shot at making the playoffs. To me, in 25 years, Kyle Shanahan's going to be the guy that people look at like other people look at Bill Belichick right now. There's no doubt in my mind about
I hear people saying that, and I see how he has. My gut is telling me, Rob, and I know that you'll call me not a fan or call me whatever. My gut is telling me he's going to have to take a hard fire and then come back with a different team to really. Maybe it's the experience he doesn't have yet. I don't know if they're going to give it to him here, but I just don't know. I think he's going to have to reevaluate the way he does some things, whether it's the way he prepares his fucking men, because this is the second year that one of his teams has been decimated by injury, right? 2 years ago, we went through something similar, the Jimmy G ACL year. So this is now 2 years that his teams have been absolutely decimated by injury. And has he changed the way they train?
He fired the entire staff and we started from scratch after that year.
Right, so again, now we might be in a worse position. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not, I'm just a dick. I'm just a dick who wants to watch winning football. That's all.
That's fair. I can appreciate that.
That's all.
I can appreciate that. But
and the opinion that comes with it is fucked up, and I know not everybody sees it my way.
That's fine. We're allowed to all be fucked up. That's why we're here.
That's
why we all congregate here.
I just want to watch winning football.
But what I don't want, what I know from life is you don't move on unless you've got a better option. And that's why I don't see a different quarterback under center next year, because if not Jimmy, then who? If not Kyle, then who? If not all these guys, then who? That's my thing. You don't just get rid of someone that's doing, by all accounts, the best they can do, and in my opinion, a good job, for an unknown. When you don't know, you tell me who the replacement is, and then we can debate if there's a replacement, if I agree with the replacement. I want to know who before I can say. Now, it is a strange year because of the weird salary cap, which, by the way, fuck the NFL again. Why can't both sides just agree to change the salary cap if the problem is COVID? Like, it's an unforeseen problem that caused the salary cap to be going down. Why can't they all just go, this is stupid, let's not make the salary cap go down? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, the teams want to pay that money because they want to field better teams, right? Like, are there any teams in the league that are like, oh, thank God the salary cap's going down?
No, wait, so it's going down?
Yeah, because of COVID. Because the calculation has to do with revenue and all this stuff. And it's like, but if nobody wants to go down, can't we all just agree that it doesn't go down? Like, if you and I sign a contract that I'm going to pay you, whatever, $100 and you're going to work 20 hours, right?
Yeah.
That's obviously a ridiculous.
Right, yeah.
But if we both go, I need you more than 20 hours, and you go, I need more than $100, and we go, I'll pay you $200 for 40, and we both just go, yeah, okay, cool, let's do that. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. All the players are going to lose money, and the teams want to pay more for a roster. I keep hearing it, and I'm like, yeah, but just don't do that. Like, if both sides agree, then both sides agree.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not even going to pretend like I understand any of that.
But the point is, because of the salary cap going down, there may be random, strange free agent quarterbacks that we didn't expect.
Somebody might get booted or... Yeah.
And we are the team that has the most to gain in the entire NFL from releasing a quarterback.
Why?
Because of the way that Parag wrote his contract, it's all actual money. It's not dead cap space. A lot of teams, if they cut their guy, they're going to still take a huge cap hit, even if they don't have to pay him. So they might save $20 million by not paying him, but their cap is still going to take a $10 or $15 million hit because of the way they did their bonus, the way that got spread out, whatever it is that calculates. With Jimmy, it's almost 100% dollar for dollar salary cap money and real money.
Gotcha.
Like, we are the team. If all the teams in the league cut their quarterback, we gain the most salary cap and money. So that's why the rumors. If Prague didn't write the contract that way, we probably wouldn't even be talking about getting rid of Jimmy because of the dead cap.
Nobody would read into that. Like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and other teams you can't afford to cut him because you might save the cash, but you're not gonna have the cap to hire anybody else. Yeah. That's why it's fucked up.
So before we move on to the defensive and offensive beasts of the week, I just want to, while everybody's probably listening, we are going to do the Dallas Zoom party this week, even though the NFL has railroaded us yet again. It is going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. West Coast Time.
It's so crazy that it didn't even go to like a late start.
Yeah.
Until 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. It's fucking insanity. I don't know what that means for you guys in Australia, 8 a.m. or something crazy. I don't know what it is. I know Jimmy B is going to be able to tune in, so we are still doing it. When we go through the emails later, like I said, I had that list from last week. It seems that we're going to have about, 10 or 15 or so people. So, get in there. I will be broadcasting the game, so there's that, and... yeah. Okay. So if you want in, email us, goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you don't have a way to watch the game, there's a way for you to watch the game.
At least the first half, because then I'm going to fuck with. Yeah, because what's going to happen is there's going to be one account that's just going to be broadcasting the game. I probably shouldn't
have said that. It's probably illegal.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, let's be...
Allegedly.
Hold on. If that's what they're going to come after us for, I don't want the shit we've dropped on this fucking...
Allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, allegedly my wife's account is going to be signed on just broadcasting the game, so you could either put that screen up full or whatever. So, with that said, wow, offensive beast of the week, Bob.
I'm gonna go with Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, you dick!
I like Ayuk's 10 for 119, but there were other catches he could have made that he didn't.
Couple drops, yeah,
and. I think his numbers were only like that because of Debo going out. I think if Debo played, his numbers would have been even bigger than Ayuk's numbers. And I think that's all Shanahan play calling and designing. I think the only reason we're even watching that game with any hope is Kyle Shanahan.
Michael?
This is a hard week.
I will honorable mention Mostert because he was running hard. He looked like the Mostert we missed.
I'm gonna go. Oh, this is offense. Yeah, I'll go with Mostert then. I'll pick him. I'll pick him up on yours. I just felt like this was his first week back, fully dressed and everything. I felt like he was running like he knew that Jeff Wilson could play that position if Shanahan wanted him to. And I know Mostert ran hard because he wanted that position. And he ended up tweaking his ankle for it. But
I'm going to give it to Deebo Samuel. Always runs hard. 1 carry, 9 yards. Defensive beast of the week. Bob?
I'm stuck between two.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Dre Greenlaw. I think he had to step up with Warner not playing some of the game later on. He seemed like he was all over the place. He had another huge stand a guy up, stop him from getting to the first down marker like he did last year against Seattle.
He did. Yes, he did. He made that tackle that was behind the line, like a fucking pure half a yard
to make
short.
Those plays when they need him the most.
It's like he knows where the line is. Yeah, that's it.
He reminds me a lot of Navarro Bowman in that way.
Yeah, that's a guy that plays aware. He knows where he is on the field.
And like when Navarro Bowman would have a huge play, it always seemed to be at the biggest moment of the game. If he only had one, it was the most important play of the game. I'm gonna go with Greenlaw.
Okay, Michael.
I am going to go with Mr. Salad. I think he directed the defense in a very just a tough game overall, and having to put up against that defensive line, just kind of having to show out as well. I think he did a good job orchestrating a loss, but not as bad as I think it could have been.
Okay, I'm going to give it to, what was that guy's name? Ward, Jimmy Ward. I think he might have had a costly penalty. Am I wrong about that?
I don't think so. He did have the pick on the penalty.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
He had the pick on, was it McGlinchey's penalty?
No, they wouldn't be on the field at the same time.
No, he had the pick on somebody's penalty.
Yeah, well, it was, yeah. Nevertheless, I saw his number. He laid a couple hits at.
Oh no, he had the pick that was trapped. That's what it was.
Trapped?
Yeah, he caught it with the ground.
Oh, right. Yeah. Regardless, I just thought he played really hard.
He's had a great year.
Yeah, every time I saw number 20 the other day, I was super pumped on everything he did. So
if it wasn't for Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward would be our defensive MVP this year.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
But what you said about Saleh, I was listening to, I think it was Tim Ryan. It was somebody with a defensive mind was saying that Saleh did something in this game that we haven't done all year, and it threw Alex Smith. And they say how Alex Smith is very cerebral and does a lot of his homework and can see everything happening. And Saleh threw a curveball at him that he never saw coming. And it took them a long time to figure out how to adjust to it. And that's why the defense played so well.
And they didn't say what it was?
Yeah. Oh. So normally our defense likes to rush 4.
Okay.
And that's how we've always made our hay. And when you
rush, drop,
you have more coverage. And when you have Nick Bosa, you can rush 4.
Right.
And then normally a blitz is 6. You send 6 on a pressure for blitz. And Saleh did something that they got a bunch of different names for it. This year, I guess they're calling it a fire blitz, where they send 5. So you send 1 extra instead of 2 extra, and it allows you to still cover pretty well, but you're sending an extra blitzer to get pressure to the quarterback. And they said that we haven't shown that look all year, and Saleh kept pulling it out at just the right time in this game, and Smith never saw it coming.
Yeah, and Dwayne Haskins ain't going to see it one way or the other. Like, Alex is a guy that could pick that up, but Dwayne Haskins is just running for his life.
Yeah, it was interesting. They were saying that even Alex Smith, who usually can read everything, didn't see it coming.
Okay,
I think with that, I heard with that, we don't typically line up with 3 on the defensive line, and I think those plays were zone blitzes. I mean, it's probably called...
that's another name for it. No, that's another name. It's the same thing.
So we were lining up 3, and then we were either sending a D-back or we were blitzing outside linebackers off the edge, and it was fucking them all up. And I don't think I've ever seen our defense play like that.
No, they were saying...
He must have brought this out.
Normally when you blitz with 6, when you rush 6, you've got to play man-to-man behind that. And when you blitz 5, you can still play.
You can still drop
3.
another. Yeah,
you can still play a deep cover 3. Very interesting.
Okay,
that's the future head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they got that to look forward
I bet
to
you.
next year.
You know what's good? You know what's good about people saying that is that hopefully it allows a different team to pay him more than Detroit, so he doesn't have to go to Detroit.
Yeah, I would never. I mean, think about just one thing about Detroit. They had two of the most dynamic offensive players of the last 50 years, maybe, in Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, and they still couldn't even win one fucking playoff game.
And Stafford, who knows what he could have been
right.
if he had a real head coach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because he was there with Johnson, right?
Yeah.
They could have, obliterated NFL records.
And all that
together.
time they had, what's his name, the defensive coach,
Schwartz, right?
Yeah. I mean, what could have been, I guess, right? Yeah. I mean, hopefully someone like Houston pays him because at least he's got Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, he'll need an offensive guy, obviously, a coordinator. All right, nevertheless, won't be our problem next year.
Plus, then it's in the AFC.
That too. So here's what you could do. Holiday season, you're in the spirit of giving. You could see we're obviously giving it our all here. www.patreon.com/goldblooded podcast. Any donations are welcomed and appreciated. If you're a little short on the scratch.
And Joe may need, let's be fair, he may need chemotherapy for his stomach cancer.
Yeah, I mean,
that shit's expensive.
And I don't have health insurance here, friends, so we're going to really kick up the...
Don't make us start a GoFundMe.
We're going to kick up the fundraising efforts here. Anybody out there have a cancer doctor in the family? Tummy, let me know. All right, with that said, if you did, tummy cancer. If you don't have the money, right, you could still go and leave us a review however you listen, that's appreciated. There's an Instagram account. Sometimes things happen there. That's Gold Blooded Podcast, one word. There's an email. You email us. You could leave us audio. You could send pictures, whatever, or just words. That's fine too. goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com. Always a big hats off to our sponsor, Lucky Rose Tattoo. Do you have the other thing? The Big Cartel link. Let me ask you a question. Is the toy drive linked through that or no? No, we won't make mention. Just go to luckyrosetattoo.bigcartel.com. You could buy nice clothing and hats and masks and all sorts of modern trendy shit over there. There's gift certificates that you could get over there, nice hats, long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodies, the whole deal. Even crew necks for those of you who like to stab somebody without a hood on. With that said, what's that? Anything else? With that said, fucking kill me. We'll see you next episode, cunts.